becoming cyborgs,
Yep.
but I can stop them from becoming murderers.
One minute you're just looking at saucy pics, and then the next you're just...
Yes! Swinging wide open!
This shit got me cream in my pants. I love this game, and as time goes on, it only seems to get more popular. Why?
The memes.
Not just Metal Gear Rising, but the franchise as a whole has some of the best meme potential in gaming. Take for example any of the scenes in the final segment of the game and make a whole video of memes about it.
Don't fuck with this, Senator!
I mean, what would you expect from the same man who popularized the genre of walking simulator? On a real note though, I love and adore the Metal Gear franchise as a whole. The franchise has an unbelievable amount of love and care put into it. Every little fine detail in these games is done to perfection. I have played and replayed all of these games many times over, and I still see myself replaying them in the future. That's enough me writing for now. Today, I'm talking about Metal Gear Rising. Canonically speaking, this is the last game in the franchise. That is, if you consider the game to be canon. I mean, come on, the game is too good for it to be considered just a spin-off. Well, fuck. I'm hard. This isn't exactly the first boss in the game. That don't count though. Usually in these games the bosses get introduced and die within the span of 30 minutes. That is just how it goes with these games. That is not to say the bosses are bad in any way, shape or form. In fact, the bosses make these games, and that is mainly why these games are so adored by others as well as myself. Boss fights in MGS follow a certain order. Introduce boss, give sad backstory, argue ideals and philosophy with protagonist, die. So let me get this straight. We were both child soldiers. And we both had to kill and seal at a very young age in order to survive. Yep. We don't take pleasure in the killing though. What do you mean we? Shut your old bitch ass. This is the general formula for an MGS boss fight. But not all of them have the same outcome. Occasionally the bosses manage to get through to Raiden and have him question all his choices up to that point. We evaluate all his ideals, philosophies, his justifications for murder.
You're right. About me, I mean. But who am I kidding? I was born to kill!
When you as the player actually stop and pay attention during the 30-minute boss fight span and look beyond the memes, you realize that they are not much different from Raiden. Under the boss's facade of cynical insanity, there lies a purpose, a driving force that the characters can only convey in a fight to the death. Story-wise, Metal Gear Rising isn't very long. Depending on how good you are at the combat system, the game could take you 3 hours or 30. More on that later.
For years.
Yet, in the limited amount of time you're exposed to the story, you manage to fall in love with the combat system, music, and characters.
Making the mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't fret over every egg.
The game manages to do that by constantly teasing the edginess scale to near climax all the way throughout the game.
Jack is back.
Edge is usually a bad addition to any story, yet Metal Gear Rising has just the right amount. Yo, bro got that timestamp yoke.
My nature.
It manages to bring out the middle school inside all of us. It feels just right. Yo, hold on. This motherfucker fighting back. Yo, my bad, bro. Time out. Senator Big Dick Armstrong. Allow me to fill you in.
Just a little too late. As usual.
One of the greatest villains in gaming in terms of character and actual gameplay.
Paying taxes. Trust me. A little war can work wonders.
Very patriotic. Wants to start a war. Now, as to why the game could take you upwards of 30 hours to complete, it's because of him. Bro walks around with all that black Air Force energy just radiating off him like it's nothing. A true menace to society, and he wants you dead. Thankfully, I've played the game a few times before, so I beat him on my first try with no real issues. The boss fight itself is not very difficult and is fairly straightforward, if you are good with the controls. What do I mean by that? The game doesn't hold your hand and explain the mechanics of the game in detail. It allows you to explore them for yourself. So you get to the last boss, Armstrong, and he will use you as toilet paper for the next couple hours. That is what happened to me as well as many other people who have played the game, because we were simply not ready.
Come on! Okay.
But once you get the hang of it, oh boy, you are in for a treat. The game isn't afraid to make you feel strong and rewards you for learning its mechanics by blaring that nutty soundtrack in the background even louder.